Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Antonia. I am a fashion designer, fashion illustrator. So this tutorial is is going to be on how to draw the 10 head fashion figures. However, I'll be drawing them in 3 different sizes. The first one is 1 centimeter proportion guide, the second one is a 2 centimeter proportion guide, while the third one is 1 inch, which is about 2.5, a little bit more than 2.5 centimeters. So basically how you use this proportion, this croquis, it depends mainly on you. So let's just get to it. So I have 3 lines. First, what I did first is, because I'm drawing 3 croquis, 3 fashion figures, I have 3 lines, 3 vertical lines, which is going to serve as the center line for the drawings, for the figures. Then for the first one, doing the 4 centimeter proportion guide, I divided on top of the line, I divided the paper into, I did a proportion guide into into 10 sections. Each section is 1 centimeter wide, and each section is the size of a head. That's why it is called a 10 head, which means each section, each proportion sizes is the size of a head. So that is why the fact that it is the size of the head is what helps you to get your drawing right at all point, no matter what size you're drawing in. Just understand that a section is the size of a head. So first I drew the head in this section 1. After I had marked my 1 centimeter, I numbered them from 1 to 10. Then I drew the head in section 1. But in between section 1, that's the middle of section 1 and 2, that's in section 2, the middle, that's like in 1 centimeter, you have the shoulders. So that's where I marked the shoulders. I marked the shoulders on that point. Then on section 3, you have the waist. You have the waist in section 3. You have the hips in section 4. Then the knee is in section 6. Your ankle is in section 9, and section 10 takes up the whole of your feet. So I drew the length of your shoulder is about 1.5 head. So because the head we are using here is 1 centimeter, it means the length of the shoulder should be about 1.5 centimeter. You understand? Then the waist is about the size of a head, which is 1 centimeter, because we are using a 1 centimeter head proportion guide. So the waist is about the size of a head, is about 1 centimeter. So what I did is I marked 0.5 centimeter on either side of this vertical line. Then the hip is the same size, is as wide as the shoulder. You can make it a little bit wider for more curves, and also you can make the waist a little bit smaller, but not too small, so the proportions do not go off. The hip, like I was saying, is about the same size of the shoulder, which is a 1.5 head, which is about a head is 1 centimeter, so it's about 1.5 centimeter. Then this is the guide that you use to draw the figures and pull them all together. I'll be doing subsequent videos on getting the shapes right and all of that. This is just a rough sketch of just me trying to show you how you can draw your croquis figures in different sizes. For this small figure, what I use it for is I hardly do use a 1 centimeter proportion guide to figures, except if I just want to draw a gesture or a posture, and I want to understand what it looks like before I actually draw it in make it big size. I do a rough sketch in a small croquis fashion. I do not go and start drawing all the lines. I just take up these proportions all from my head and just like, okay, this size of the head, this is the size of the other part of the body. It's just with time and with practice you get to draw your figure without paying so much attention to the proportions and still getting the proportions right. Now to the 2 centimeter proportion guide, which is what I use the most. I use the 2 centimeter proportion guide to draw my croquis most of the time because it is what fits an A5 paper. This piece of paper I have here is already having the proportion guide, the 2 centimeter proportion guide, which is what I use the most, and that's because it fits an A5 paper. That is the landscape version of your of A4. Using the proportion guide, I will draw the 2 centimeter proportion guide, which, like I said, fits the A5 paper. That is, it fits your A4 paper in the landscape, which is the A5 paper. So basically, I use the same proportion guide. The first section is for the head. The second section, half of the second section, is where the shoulder is, and the shoulder is 1.5 head. Now that this proportion is a 2 centimeter proportion, 1.5 head will be 2.5 centimeter, which is what the width of the shoulders would be. Then the waist is a 1 head proportion, which is 2 centimeter. The hip is a 1.5 head proportion, which is not 2.5 now, it is that 3 centimeters instead. But 1 head is 2 centimeters, so 1.5 head is 3 centimeters. So with those guides, I draw the shapes and the shape of the figure. The first section is the head, second section is the shoulder, and which around where just below the second section is the bust. The waist is at section number 3. The hip is at 4. The hip and the crotch is at 4. The 5 is the thigh. The 6 is the knee. 7 is calf. Then 7 and 8 calf extended to the bottom. Then on the point of 9 is the ankle. Then the 10, number 10 is where the feet is. So that is the basic proportions to drawing the figure, not irrespective of the size that you are using. Just understand that a section is the head, and you use that section to help do the right thing. So the third one is the 1 inch proportion, which is the biggest. This one you can use it when you want to draw you want your figures to be big, so you can easily add enough details to whatever you are illustrating. Maybe details to the face, details to the clothes, so it shows more. That way it helps and it works well. However, so basically that is just still the same proportion guide. Section 1 is the head, half of section 2 is the shoulder, which is 1.5 head, that is 1.5 inch. So you divide 1.5 inch on both sides of the vertical, the center line. Then the section 3 is the waist, which is 1 head, that is 1 inch. Section 4 is the hip, which is also 1.5, which is also 1.5 inch. Then the knee is at number 6, calf at number 7. That's basically it for this. And I realize I've not said anything about the hands, but the hands are the elbow is at number 3, the level at which the waist is. Then the wrist is at number 4, that is at the hip point. So with subsequently I'll make more detailed video and focusing on drawing the body parts better than this, so we can understand how to draw different body parts and how to like put in more effort into drawing our figure. This video is for us to understand the proportions and understand that we can get this proportion in any size that we want, as long as you understand the proportion guide to drawing your figures. So please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. The purpose of this channel is to provide the skills that every fashion designer needs. So it's not just about fashion figures, but I'm starting with fashion illustrations. So but however, there is a lot that I'll be sharing, tips and tricks and how to build a career as a fashion designer. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you.